So look, the gender war debate has been going on and on and on forever. You know, it's so many different directions to go with this discussion, you know, and as a person who understands the importance of strong marriages and strong relationships and all of that, I'm trying to come from like a solution-based approach. We definitely got to figure this thing out as far as, you know, men and women at each other's neck, especially in the black community. You know, we got to get on the same page, you know, and the way I see it is that, you know, men are wired a certain way and we think a certain way for the most part, and women are wired another way and they think a certain way. Neither one of us did it that way. God created us that way. I feel like where we at right now is like everybody has such strong opinions and these vices and these habits and you're hearing all this different information coming from all over the place to where people are latching on to the things that kind of feel right to them or the things that kind of prove their argument or make them feel good. But in reality, you know, we got to make it a point to figure out how to get on the same page with one another to where we can coexist in a healthy way. And the reason is we need more strong black families. We need more families staying together. We need, you know, more unity. We need, you know, both parents raising these kids. We need both finances coming together and doing awesome things. So, you know, we have to figure this out in a healthy way instead of just keep going at each other, arguing and debating all the time about everything. You know, I gotta say, you know, that there's plenty of blame to go around. I'll say that men have kind of regressed and evolved into something different than what we used to be. And I'll say the exact same thing for women. When people value other things over the family structure and over their relationships and over their roles that they're supposed to be playing within that, it just leaves a lot of room for things to get out of whack. And when you look around, you can see that things are out of whack. We got kids that's doing everything except for the things they're supposed to do. We have, you know, failed marriages all over the place, failed relationships all over the place. These things are rooted in people not moving in the natural order of things, if that makes sense. So, you know, for example, if and don't counsel me when I say this, but if the man is supposed to lead in the household, right? As a man, you have to know what that means and you have to be equipped and capable of leading. You know, you can't expect a woman to give you the keys or, you know, give you whatever and let you lead the household or let you lead her in the relationship if you're not equipped, if you're not prepared, if you're not really, really able to do that job. So what's happening with that is a lot of men get upset because they feel like the woman should just let them lead because they're a man. That ain't how it works. You get to lead because you are a leader, right? So you have to be equipped. You have to have the patience. And when we say lead, that doesn't mean, you know, we running a dictatorship and we your boss and we tell you every move to make and this and that. It just means that, you know, you take on a role within your relationship or within your household that it's on you. It's kind of like a quarterback. It's kind of like Dak Prescott, right? You know, when Dak doesn't play a good game, a lot of times we lose. It's not that Dak is the only one on the team. It's that he's the quarterback, so he's the leader of the team. So when Dak is throwing accurate passes, when Dak is making good decisions, when Dak is making the right moves, a lot of times we win. He's a leader. Again, that doesn't mean he's the only one on the team. That doesn't mean he doesn't need anyone else to do their job. That just means he's in the lead, so he has to do his job in order for everybody else to kind of be able to do their job. And I feel like that's kind of the approach that we should take as men, as fathers, as husbands in the household. You know, at the same time, if you're a woman and, you know, you have a man and you say you want him to lead or whatever the case may be, you have to allow him to do that. That means you have to get with a man that you trust, that you believe in, that you feel like you can count on to make good decisions on y'all's behalf. If you don't feel like that about that man, what's going to end up happening is you're going to always question everything he does. You're going to be on his neck and all of that, and that's going to cause him to feel a certain way about you, and he may even shut down or he may even leave, for all I know. So, again, don't do yourself a disservice and don't do him a disservice. Get with a man that you do believe in. Get with a man that you do feel like you can trust, that you can follow. If you don't feel like that about that man, quit wasting each other's time. Keep looking, find somebody else, because it's not going to work if you're with a man that you don't believe that you can trust to lead you. So, and again, the whole lead thing and the whole submission thing, I feel like a lot of it gets taken out of context because, it's not a negative thing. It's just kind of the way we are as men. We kind of naturally, we're going to go our own way. And, the best possible situation is if you are a man and you do naturally want to kind of lead, the best situation is for you to have a woman who believes in you, who trusts you to lead, and that way you don't have the conflict where you're trying to lead, but she's trying to pull in the opposite direction. So in both cases, we should get with people. As a woman, you should get with a man who you love and trust and believe in so that you can follow him. As a man, you need to be ready to lead. You don't need to lead this woman and these kids off a cliff. You need to lead them to victory, in all phases of life. That's what you're supposed to do, lead them to victory. So take that job, take that role seriously if you say you're a man and if you say that you want to lead. To me, a lot of the back and forth is rooted in that, just the mere fact that some men don't really know what it means to lead and some women don't really know what it means to follow. Again, it's not a negative thing. The other part is, sometimes I feel like money becomes too much, too high on the priority list when we start talking about how these relationships are formed and set up. Money does have a place in this society, of course. At this point, you can't really do anything without money, and we all understand that. So definitely money needs to be rolling in. However, money shouldn't be the top priority. So there's you got the way things are, and then you got the way that things should be. You got to understand the difference between the two and account for them. You know what I'm saying? So the way things are is, yes, we need money. We got to make money. And it's up to each couple to decide how you spend it and how you divide it and all of that. But on the other side, money shouldn't be the top priority. You should be trying to be on the same page, with how you approach life, how you approach, raising kids, how you approach finances, how you approach all of these things. And that's a whole nother, that's over here. The money is over here. Everything else is over here. You got to know that there's a difference between the way things are and the way things should be. And in my opinion, we should always try to keep moving toward the way things should be. Not just forgetting the way things are, but just trying to inch over towards the way things should be. So for different people, it varies the way we feel like things should be. So that's the next thing. Get with somebody who kind of sees life and sees relationships the way that you do. If you feel like it's important that we go to church, or, if you feel like it's important that we invest a lot of time and energy into our kids, the best thing that you can do is get with somebody who also feels that way. If you get with somebody where church is top priority for you and you get with somebody that don't want to go to church, there's going to be a conflict. If you get with if you done with going out and clubbing and doing all of that, but then you get with somebody who's right in the thick of it and they always want to go to the club and they always want to be somewhere, there's going to be conflict. So these are the type of conversations that we should have when we first start interacting with a person. Figure out, what they really see, the way they see relationships, the way they see family, the way they see. Some people don't feel like family is important. You might be a person that you love your family. Y'all get together on all the holidays. Y'all love each other. Y'all kick it. Y'all do everything together. And then you get with a person that say, "Oh, screw my family. I don't like them," and this and that. Again, you're a family-oriented person, and here you are aligning yourself with somebody who doesn't think family's worth a flip. There's gonna be conflict. So Why not have these discussions early on, figure out, because a lot of times it's not really an issue of who's right and who's wrong. It's just a point of, I see things this way, you see things this way, and it's difficult to make it all work together and coexist. All of that can be fixed in the beginning phases with conversation. So the goal in all of this, and again, I know this could go on all night, but the goal in all of this is to kind of men and women to get on the same page in a healthy way. You know, we do have different roles to play. You know, I can say, for example, you know, when we're talking about dealing with kids, you know, dad may be the one that's kind of more logical, maybe kind of be more so the enforcer, maybe the one that kind of pulls a kid towards reality. Even if we have to show tough love at times, it's still love. Mama may be the one a lot of times that's more so the nurturer, you know, the one that want to kiss all the boo-boos and do all of that. And that's needed as well. The problem with that sometimes becomes if the mom doesn't respect the dad's role or the dad doesn't respect the mom's role, then again, it's a disaster waiting to happen. See, mama, you're supposed to allow me to be firm with these kids when I need to be, because I'm not doing it because I just want to fuss at some kids. I just want to whoop some kids. I'm doing it because I love them and I see them going in a direction that's going to be to their detriment. I see them going in the wrong direction. So, mama, when I get on to them, allow me to get on to them because it's coming from a place of love. And daddy, you have to do the same thing. When she want to baby them a little bit or whatever the case may be, you know, of course you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't over baby them or what I call over love them, but again, we both have to respect each other's role in this. That's how that's the most healthy possible situation for the kids. The gender war, man, you know, this is something we're gonna be touching on a lot. I know I barely scratched the surface just there, but you know, the one thing I can say for sure is that we have to get this figured out. You know, we shouldn't be hating each other. We're supposed to be loving each other. You feel me? We're supposed to be loving each other. Peace.